All right, it's reaction time. Love him or loathe him, Jordan Peterson. I do find him fascinating. So you can do your own research about the guy. But he's a professor, Jordan Peterson. He's a very, very intelligent guy. He's doing a video here about social anxiety, how to easily overcome it. I love watching Jordan Peterson because his body language epitomizes that ability to be confident in how we present. So we do a lot about that on this channel, but I also like how he talks about a lot of the anxieties we feel, potentially as introverts, quiet creators. Like, we are quite empathetic and we do feel that nervous anxiety sometimes. So we're going to go into this reaction and we just chat along the way. I haven't watched this video all the way through, but somebody said about it, and so I don't know what he's going to say because he is pretty controversial. But let's do it. Jordan Peterson, how to easily overcome social anxiety.
Let's say you're socially anxious. Okay, so what happens when you're socially anxious? You go to a party, your heart's beating. Why? The party is a monster. Why? Because it's judging you. And it's judging you, it's putting you low down the dominance hierarchy, because that's what a negative judgment is. And that interferes with your sexual success. And that means that you're being harshly evaluated by nature.
Okay, I don't think he meant to say sexual success. I'm pretty sure he didn't mean that. I'm pretty sure he didn't mean sexual success. I've talked about this in another video, I'll link it up here. It's so interesting when he talks about when we go into a social situation and where do we place ourselves in that hierarchy. And quite often when we're socially anxious or awkward, we put ourselves at the bottom of the chain, like the food pyramid. All the confident people up here, like the lions, and we're down here like the prey. And we put ourselves at a disadvantage straight away because of what we think other people are going to think about us. And in the video, I talked about this, about treating everyone like an equal when we meet them. There is no hierarchy. We are equals, and the world doesn't evolve around us. It's interesting he says that.
Self, right? So you are confronting the dragon of chaos when you go into the social situation. And so what do? You're like this, right? You hunch over, and that's low dominance. I'm no threat. It's like, well, that's not going to get you very far. You know, but that's a logical thing to do in the face of a tyrant. So I'm no threat. You know, you look at the king and you're dead. I'm no threat. I'm hunched over. And then what's happening internally? What are people thinking about me? What are people thinking about me? Am I looking stupid? Am I looking foolish? Geez, I'm awkward. I hate being here. Man, I'm sweating too much. It's all internalized, right? It's all...
How many times have we sweated when we've gone into social environments? I feel like I need to take like a tissue or what are those old things, the handkerchief, and just remove the sweat from my face. I feel that, and quite often it's hunched over. We kind of go in and withdraw, internalize. That's what he's saying here. Everything is in the mind. Negative thoughts spinning around. We worry and we create these stories. We're incredible authors of our own stories, creating fiction or non-fiction. Oh, damn, I always get those wrong. But when we're worried about what people think of us, right? We're creating these stories, elaborate stories that might not be true.
Self-focused. The eye isn't working. What do you tell people? Don't stop thinking about yourself, because you can't. It's like, don't think of a white elephant. White elephant, white elephant, white elephant. You can't tell someone to stop thinking about something because they get caught in the loop. What you do with socially anxious people is you say, look at other people. Look at them, right? Why? Because if you look at them, you can tell what they're thinking. And then unless you're terribly socialized, and some people are.
I said this in that video as well. Look at people, make eye contact. I'll link it in the description below. Make eye contact. He's saying here, like, look at them and think about what they're thinking. And it's kind of that way of saying, hey, they're not thinking about me. Like, I'm not the center of the universe that I think I am. They probably think they're the center of the universe. I do, they do, everyone does. We're our own creator and center, and everything evolves around us, but we know that's not true. But that's quite often the scary part of social situations. We're worried about what people think. So make eye contact with somebody and wonder what they're thinking. Because if we can care about what someone else thinks or what their world is like, then it removes the negative kind of scary situations and stories we're creating in our heads. I think that's what he's getting at.
Have no social skills. And so the reason they can't go to a party is because they don't even know how to introduce themselves. Like they're just, no one ever taught them how to behave. And so they're really good candidates for behavior therapy because you walk them through the process of how you actually manifest the procedures that are associated with social acceptability. But most people aren't like that. They have the ability. So if they're really introverted and high in neuroticism, they can usually talk quite well to someone one-on-one. Why? Because they look at them. Well, if I look at you, it's another thing to do if you're ever speaking to a group of people. Never speak to the group of people. It doesn't exist. You talk to individuals, and then they reflect for you the entire group. Because they're...
Simon Sinek said exactly the same thing. He said exactly the same thing. He was like, as an introvert, I actually really enjoy speaking to people in a group because I connect to you, to you, to you. He doesn't speak to the whole group. He speaks to the individuals in that group. And quite often, I mean, how many times have you been to a party and all you see are like dozens and dozens of people? You don't see individuals, you just see this massive crowd of energy, and it's exhausting sometimes. And then we withdraw because how do we deal with that? How do we deal with all that energy? And what he's saying is, if we look at individuals, and I'm going to talk to you right now, even though behind you, behind your camera, behind the screen that you're watching me on, there's 100 other people. There's 1,000 people behind you, but I'm just talking to you right now. But all those other people can sense the connection we're having. And we're really good at that as introverts, as quiet creators. We're really good at the one-on-ones. And he's saying that here. Dude, Jordan, I appreciate what you're saying. Apart from saying introverts are neurotic or narcissistic or something he said, the N-word.
Trained. So you look at one person, they broadcast to you what everyone's thinking, and you know how to talk to one person. So it's easy. So as soon as you focus on the person, not you, you push your attention outward, use your eye, you push your attention outward, and you start watching. Well, then all your automatic mechanisms kick in, and you stop being awkward. Because if we're talking, and I'm looking here, I don't know what you're going to do next. And I'm going to put disjunctions into the...
I've done that before. Have you done that where you're talking to somebody and you realize a minute later you haven't even looked in their eyes yet? And I'm almost scared because I'm like, okay, if I look into your eyes, is it the devil going to look back at me? Are like these red beady eyes going to look at me and kill me? It's true, right? Like that ability to connect individually with somebody and just have the confidence. And as soon as we look at somebody, we have to open up our body language. And he shows this. Jordan Peterson is so good at this. His body language, when he's talking about social anxiety and about overcoming it, he's in this lecture, but the way he's presenting is really connected to individuals. And then he'll talk to somebody and then he'll go on to the next one. He's really good.
They're like bad chords in the melody of our conversation. And the reason is I'm not paying attention. So that's why the I is the thing at the top of the pyramid. It's like the thing that enables you to win the set of all possible dominance hierarchies is the I. Pay attention. Pay attention. That's the critical issue. That's why the Egyptians worshipped Horus. That's why Horus was the thing that rescued Osiris from the depths. It's the capacity to pay attention. What do you pay attention to most? What your right hemisphere signals as anomalous. It attracts your attention. It's like, this isn't going quite right. I'm not looking at that. Wrong. That's what you look at. That's what you look at. What's not going right. Because that's the terrible monster that might eat you, but it's also the place you get all the information. So that's why.
Confronting our evils. Confronting the evils. And it just come from this like place, like overcoming social anxiety, going into a group and speaking to people, communicating with people, connecting with people. That's the fear, right? But what is the fear? What is the fear when we're in that situation? Like being rejected, not feeling like we have something to offer? A group, but he's talking about the individuals. It's like that's what we need to overcome. And yeah.
It's useful to have discussions with your enemies, because they will tell you things you do not know. And that's such a great thing, because if you don't know them, well, you're not very smart, are you? You know, there may be a time when you go somewhere that's the thing you need to know. And maybe your enemy will tell you why you're such a fool, you know, and a bunch of other things that aren't true too. But even one thing that's accurate, it's like, yeah, thanks very much, man. Maybe I'll do some work on that, and I won't have to carry that forward. So, and then that's part of the reason, again, why the terrible predator, it's always the terrible predator that has the gold. It's like, it's the person who delivers the message.
That's interesting. He's kind of saying as well, so I read the Tao Te Ching a lot, like the yin and the yang, the balance of energies, the good, the bad, the birth, the death. Everything has to go together and balance. I think what he's saying here is kind of like, we can't be scared of somebody like speaking to the enemy and they give us some home truths, right? Some truth bombs. But if we take that away and we use it to our advantage, then don't we want these engagements that are not always happy-go-lucky, positive, woohoo kind of vibes? But is that what we're scared of as well? Wow, okay. I'm gonna have to watch some more on Jordan Peterson. I told my partner about him the other day. We were talking about something and I said, hey, you know, I think you should watch Jordan Peterson. He's controversial, but he's very well-versed on what he talks about. So he comes from a place of understanding, even if we don't agree with what he says. And so seeing this video now, I was like, oh, I need to see more of this guy. Okay, that's it. I'm going to leave it there. Some really good takeaways for overcoming social anxiety. Have you found anything that helps you? Any videos I should watch? Put them in the comment below. And see you next time.